Live from the Talking Joe Studios, it's Talking Joe with Chief and Mark.
Talking Joe weekly podcast. Talking Joe is there. Talking Joe thought we would last. Talking Joe is there. Fighting each other like a married couple. Our podcast on the air. Talking Joe is there.
Talking Joe is the code name for a completely untrained special podcast force. Its purpose, to produce a weekly comic review show and serve as an outlet for Chief's creative talents and unleash them upon the world.
Talking Joe. Talking Joe is there. Chief is on his soapbox. Nobody seems to care. Fighting for fandom wherever there's trouble. The podcast on the air. Talking Joe is there. Talking Joe. Talking Joe.
Talking Joe is on the air, and here are your hosts, Chief and Mark.
Hey, it's me, Chief DOG, live from the Talking Joe Studios, joined by my good buddy, it's you.
It's me, Mark, here once again.
Yes, once
They
again.
couldn't keep me away.
With the Mark Master. They can't keep him away like a bad smell. Except you smell better than a bad smell, so I'm told.
You're the elevator, I'm the fart. That's right. Boo.
How are you, good sir?
Yeah, I'm good. Doing well.
Yes.
Hot off an interview with Robert Atkins last night. It was good. Really good chat with him. And
will that be dropping before this episode drops?
Who knows? We'll see. A lot of editing.
We'll see. You're going to get it, though. You're going to get some good oral Robert Atkins straight up in you.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, we did deep dive into Snake Hunt. Got to be careful how I say that. And I might even drop in some audio into this, possibly even where we talk preview, about specific scene. Could do a little, drop in a little nugget here and there from the chat.
We're gonna come on to talk about Snake Hunt issues or episodes 4 and 5 a bit later. But anything else been going on with you this week, or just kind of chilling back into the work grind?
Sort of chilling back to the work. It's difficult getting back to work, isn't it? Where are we? Yeah, it was the first week back after the Christmas break. Just getting those gears back in motion. Ooh, tricky. Sort of dusting off the old brain.
I'll tell you what I've just done.
What's that?
I thought I poured myself a nice lemon tea, or a green tea with a twist of lemon, and I've just drunk it. And as I was drinking it, I was like, this tastes a bit strange. And I've realised as I finished it that it wasn't I didn't pull out a green tea with lemon twist tea bag. I just pulled out a regular breakfast tea bag.
Uh-huh.
So I've just drunk I'm not really, I don't mind black tea, but it tasted funny, so now I know why.
Okay, at least it wasn't a glass of piss.
At least it wasn't a glass of piss. That is coming next week. No, nothing. Got no bottles or nothing up in the loft at the moment, so I've got no real outlet or avenue. Well, there's a mug over there. There's a mug. There's an Out of Timers mug. Maybe I'll piss in that one.
And we've been on in our household. We've been on a Pirates of the Caribbean binge.
Unlucky.
1 through 5. I didn't even realise it was 5 at the beginning of this binge, but I think it's fair to say there's diminishing returns across the franchise.
Right.
But we got through, and for the most part enjoyed it. By episode 5, I was a little bit pooped of it, or poop decked.
Very good. Well, not very good at all. I have not watched any movies this year, as it is the 10th of January as of today. 0 down, and obviously Out of Timers listeners will be aware of the challenge that me and Ben had to watch 200 in a calendar year. He did 250, I did 198, and just couldn't be bothered for that last day to get to 200. I would not let so I figured by not doing it, I won. I wouldn't be scripted into watching a couple of movies I didn't want to watch just for the sake of pursuing that goal. But if I can ever get hold of Mr. Ben Martin, we will be doing a year in review and covering the highs and lows of all that movie watching, and so look out for that. But yeah, as I said, at the moment, haven't watched any movies this year, and it feels good.
And let's just extrapolate that trend towards the end of the year. By the end of the year, you would have watched 0. Oh, okay. Yeah, maths.
Well, my target is to do 50 or less.
50 or less. I like it.
Yeah, I'm going negative target. Yeah.
Oh, crikey.
So let's see how that goes.
What about just watch what you want, Chief?
Yeah, there you go. I have watched a lot of... Because obviously I still haven't caught up to The Mandalorian, still don't know the spoiler, and Mandalorian chat seems to have completely died out now. I mean, I don't go on social media that much anyway, but I think I've managed to avoid the spoilers there, to be fair.
That's amazing that you missed the spoilers.
I think if it had been spoiled, I would have got it spoiled by now. So I think I'm okay. I wanted to finish watching Clone Wars, as I think I previously mentioned. Finished watching Clone Wars, now onto Rebels. I watched 16 episodes of Rebels the other day in one day.
Crikey, hence the known movies.
binge them, and this is kind of one of the reasons why I hate binge watching TV. I don't really watch much TV shows anymore anyway, but binge watching is horrendous, and I kind of liked that Mandalorian one a week, back to old school trend.
Yeah.
Binging, not for me, but I want to get through it because I want to get through the Mandalorian. So I did watch 16 episodes of Rebels, finished off season 3, and now I think there's only 15 episodes possibly in season 4, and I'm one episode in, I think. So yeah, so far it's not the best Rebels episodes aren't as good as the best Clone Wars episodes, but it's more consistent than Clone. I think I had a chat with you offline about this. It's a bit more consistent. There's more kind of 3s and 3.5s out of 5s, whereas Clone Wars has quite a few 2s, 2.5s, but also has a lot of 4.5, 5s. So good show, but I don't care as much about the characters as I did about the Clone Wars characters. But there you go. But good stuff. I'll be. The aim is to have caught up on Mandalorian, so we can have a Mandalorian chat when we come to the end of the Snake Hunt arc. So in 2 weeks' time, my goal is to talk about Mandalorian on this show.
Set a goal, yeah. But I know what you mean by like the appointment TV. You don't really get an awful lot of that these days. Really, it's sort of all on demand, or have a whole series drop in one go. So actually having that sort of Friday evening appointment to watch the latest episode was nice. It was a nice feeling. And I guess Disney Plus are going to be doing that a fair amount. We've got the Vision and Scarlet Witch series dropping quite soon, and I imagine they'll probably be doing that again, an episode a week, I guess.
Okay.
So yeah, do you think you'll be checking that one out?
Maybe. Is it based on? Is it? I guess it's based on the Tom King book, is it or not?
I believe so. Yeah, I think that's the main inspiration for it.
Right. I got that ranked quite highly on my Every Story Ever. I might go back and give that a reread first. But yeah, we'll give it a go.
Cool. Do we want to talk about stretching, Chief, and that resolution? Or...
I will be posting another splits video this evening. When this lands, you've already seen it. I'm going to post it Sunday night, so you would have already checked me out online to see if I've made any progress or if I've just injured my groin. Must watch TV. Listen, I want to talk about action figures. Action figures. We all love them. We all love them. Action figures. Oh yeah. They bring us joy in our daily lives. Bring us joy. Action figures. Yeah. Evoking memories from our childhood. But now we're grown and we just can't stop. Buying plastic till our wallets pop. When will it end? Who can say? 'Cause action figures are part of our DNA. Some people say maybe we've gone a little wacko, but action figures bring us joy like a rainbow. They are so hot like a splash of Tabasco. Now it's time for action figure fiasco. now it's time for Action Figure Fiasco. Action Figure Fiasco.
I'll just note for the record, Your Honour, that we did take this to the people, and the people have spoken. The question posed on the Facebook group is, should we play the full jingle or just have a shortened version? And the results came in with 15 votes for play the full jingle versus 7 for the shortened version. So the people have spoken. It is an overwhelming majority. We are getting the full jingle for that segment.
Yes, which you already have played.
Exactly, yeah. So that is why. Blame the people, for everything. People.
Now then, I was chatting to Ben about this offline, and he said we missed the boat there because we could have released that as an actual single and attempted to get groundswell and get it to a Christmas number one. You can do that. You can release stuff and submit it and try and get it out there. So next year, Action Figure Fiasco, Christmas number one. Let's do it.
Yeah, yeah, that'll happen.
Hey, we got a good. I don't know how many people listen to this show, but we got a good 150 on the Facebook group. So there you go.
Well, they got it for free now. They're not going to need to buy it anyway. So
well, there you go. We'll test their loyalty. See if they're willing to pay 99p. Okay, so this week I'm starting off with another 1/12 scale figure, and it is the Sugar Man from Marvel Legends. Now, the Sugar Man is a character from the Age of Apocalypse storyline, which I devoured back in the day when I was collecting. I think it was probably, early to mid-90s. And this was where that alternate history where what's his name, Professor X's son Legion had gone back. David Haller had gone back. Is his name David Haller? I think had gone back in time because he realised that the mutants' persecution across the globe was due to Magneto. And if Magneto wasn't around, then mutants would live in peace and harmony with the human population. So he goes back to Israel, to one of the early stages of Professor X and Magneto's friendship, where they're kind of realizing each other's mutants. They're setting up some kind of alliance kind of thing. And as Legion goes to kill Magneto, is Papa Bear, Prof X jumps in the way, takes the blast, and then this new alternate reality is set where in fact Professor X was the one that died, and Magneto is now a hero, leading the X-Men. Apocalypse has risen to power, and it's kind of this dystopian future. Anyway, you don't need to know any of that for this, but it's a quick history lesson for you. The Sugar Man is one of the characters that was created for this alternate universe. He is a hideous blob of a creature with a massive oversized head, small legs, 4 arms. He's kind of a tinkerer, an inventor, a kind of scumbag geneticist, if you will. And Marvel Legends, he's one of these builder figures. You buy the entire wave, either 6 or 7 figures. This one was 7 figures. Each one comes with a part, which you then put together, and it builds this figure. So I had no interest in the actual figures in the line, which were Jean Grey, Weapon X, Sunfire, Morph, X-Man, Wild Child, and some other clown. Don't know. And you buy those 7, and I basically bought them on a deal from Zoom. I think it was 70 quid I got all 7 figures for, new. Yes. Took out the Build-A-Figure pieces, immediately listed all the separate figures on eBay, sold them yesterday for 68 quid, I think. So, effectively got this guy for free.
Cool.
And put them together, and so let's talk about the figure. 4 arms. Good articulation for the fact that he has got 4 arms. You can get him into some really cool poses. A couple of fist hands, a pointing hand, a grip hand. He's got a mallet that says sugar on the side. He's got a big prehensile tongue coming out, which has got a bit of bend and can kind of hold figures with their legs. He's got a twist. Doesn't have an ab crunch, obviously, because he's got no abs. Big chunky thighs, which does have a thigh swivel. It's got an ankle rocker, and a knee joint. The knee hardly goes back at all. So posing wise, you're not going to get much from the waist and legs, but arm-wise, you can get some real good poses, and you're going to get some real good interaction with this guy, and he is a heavy beast.
Right.
So there you go. I'm continuing my trend so I'm kind of trying to get out of the action figure collecting, but I am getting the occasional kind of oversized large villain figure I'm into. I like the big villain figures. So
Very
That's
good.
where I'm lying.
Yeah, I wondered if that mallet was meant to be like Thor's hammer or something, but it sort of looks. It's a very similar shape, but
It is a similar shape. It's kind of got the short handle. It's got kind of the edges are squared off, kind of like Thor's hammer. And it's got the word sugar written on it. But I don't know. He's got some badges on his lapel bit here. There's also a Deadpool badge and some sort of Flash badge or something. But overall, very pleased with this figure. I think he's going to be good in some of the toy photography photos that I never take.
Okay, that'd be good when I don't see them.
Yep. What's Thomas been up to this week? Let's find out.
Kids with toys. Pokemon. Kids with toys. Pennsylvania. Kids with toys. Family. Kids with toys. My Little Pony. Kids with toys. Star Wars. Kids with toys. Transformers. Kids with toys. Lego. Kids with toys. G.I. Joe. Yo, Joe. Hello.
Hello, Thomas. You're back once again.
Yep,
You're talking toys.
yep.
And what have we got today?
Crankcase.
Crankcase. It's the guy everyone knows called Crankcase.
Well, not everyone knows about him.
No.
Some people don't even know about G.I. Joe.
Yeah, so this is a Christmas present. It's the retro line Crankcase who came with the new version of the ARAH Striker.
Yes.
And so is he awesome? What do you think?
I think I might decide after we've talked a bit about the toy.
Okay, right. So tell me about this guy. What's he like?
He's got a few good bents, like the common good bents.
Yeah, he's got all of the joints that you'd expect from a modern figure. That's nice to see.
That's like a good figure usually has a good amount of bents.
Yeah. you like the bents in the toys, right? Cool. So he's sort of kind of a basic looking guy. His trousers are sort of a plain kind of tanny colour.
Like-
He's got a green top. It was kind of a bit more of a jumper look to the old figure, but this version it looks almost shirty. And he's got a nice removable helmet with a strap on it.
Usually, like on the older figures, the helmet would be.
Stuck on maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
The original one did have a removable helmet, but that strap is new. And then underneath,
Yeah.
he's ginger.
What?
He's ginger. He's got ginger hair
They said
and ginger. Yeah,
ginger.
ginger. So ginger hair, ginger beard. But
He's got like those swipes that almost makes it look like it's
he's got quite severe
a
parting,
bit
hasn't he?
real
Mm-hmm.
with the hair.
Yeah. And he's actually got quite pale colour to his skin.
Should we talk about the All Striker?
Let's talk about the ARAH Striker. So I quite like that figure, and the ARAH Striker is very much like the original. There's a few very teeny
The All
differences.
Striker is awesome.
Such a cool figure. So it's got that gun mounted on the top.
Yeah.
And it's got
Those headlights.
mm-hmm.
The wheels you place on.
Yeah, they spin
There
around
are a
nicely,
few
and they've even got
stickers, and I like
Do you know
the
what-
details.
on this. Do you know what that's
Oh,
called?
I don't know, but it's bumpy.
Yeah, it's suspension for going over bumps, and it's even got on the back.
Wait, you can take that off?
The back comes off, and you can see the engine. And if the engine got damaged, you can probably even pull out the engine.
Oh my god. I've not seen Dada, you didn't tell me about that. Maybe it's because you don't want me ripping the
Yeah.
toy apart.
So when I was little, I used to take out the engine and use it as a space to keep an extra person. But do you know the problem about doing that?
What?
Well, if you took out the engine, the car wouldn't be able to drive very far, would it?
Wait, I just realised a bit of the engine sticking out. That's
These it's got the exhaust pipes sticking out there. There's there's so many
danger. Hot exhaust.
there's so many lovely little touches.
Details.
And I think when I had mine, it was probably a little bit harder to put together. You snapped just together a few different pieces, didn't you, to put it together? Oh dear. Did you put on the wheels, or were they on the already?
No, we had to put them on.
Uh-huh.
And usually there'd be like spare wheels, but this time there was only 4, which is handy. Handy dandy.
Okay, anything more to say about the oar striker and crankcase?
The oar striker is quite a nice toy.
So,
They're both quite good figures.
Yeah, so whereabouts would you rank the vehicle? Is it...
Or should I say crank?
Whereabouts would you crank the vehicle and the figure?
Maybe a 6 or a 7.
6 or a 7 out of 10? Okay. I think the vehicle is one of my favourites for sure.
Yeah. Yep. And as I say always, bye!
Crankcase. Oh, interesting. He is dead, yeah?
He is,
Okay.
which is unnecessarily controversial.
Okay.
As we'll find out a bit later.
All right, okay, yeah, good. More action figure fiasco next week. On to comics, and this week we are talking about Snake Hunt parts 4 and 5. Comic talk, oh, comic talk. Barry Hammer writes them, Chief and Mark discuss them, whoa. Comic talk, oh, comic talk. Larry Hammer writes them, Chief and Mark discuss them, whoa. That's right, it's issues 269 and 270 of this 10-part storyline, parts 4 and 5. Shall we take a look at the covers?
Yeah, let's do it.
Favorite cover.
Okay, I've got the Robert Atkins covers for 4 and 5. You
Me
had
too.
a good chat with the man, and he's done a lot of Snake Eyes previously. Obviously, he did the Snake Eyes book at IDW, but also when I see him doing pin-ups and commissions, a lot of Snake Eyes.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously got a big affinity for the character. He's done a lot of work on him professionally, and as the most popular Joe in the franchise, he gets asked to draw him an awful lot.
Yeah, I think he does one of the definitive versions of the character, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I've even got a Snake Eyes commission from him as well, which was a recreation in his own style of the Mike Collins Action Force special.
Yeah, it's a good
cover.
one. It's a good one. I like the way he draws his boots, and he kind of draws him a little bit, not techie, but draws him kind of in combat gear, but without losing that Snake Eyes feel.
Absolutely, yeah. And sort of a little bit of insight from the interview. Robert said that the reason that Snake Eyes appears on the covers so much on Snake Hunt rather than the other Joes is that's what Hasbro demanded. Essentially, they wanted Snake Eyes very much to be the front and center focus for the Snake Hunt covers.
Yeah.
And he also talked about why there were sort of these generic kind of covers, particularly for the first few issues, which aren't so related to what's going on in the interiors, including the homage covers, and that was down to trying to get the covers done before he saw the script, and so not really being sure exactly what would be on the inside, so having to keep it relatively generic as a result of that.
All right, well, let's have a look at then part 4. So, having said I'm a massive fan of the way Atkins draws Snake Eyes, this cover 4 is a little bit bland for me.
Yeah, he's lying down on the floor and bars in the way. Yeah, I guess it's not an action scene, is it?
I don't think it's one that's gonna get readers to pull it off the shelf. But anyway, so then we got cover B, which is the Jamie Sullivan part of this multi-part. Mm-hmm. How long does that run for? How many issues does that go for?
I think it runs for the 10 issues.
Oh, jeepers. Okay. All right, very good. Is this Scrap Iron by John Royal for the retailer incentive?
Yeah, sort of surrounded by a kind of pinky glow.
I think I like that. I think I like that lighting effect.
Yeah, I think so. I think it works.
And then we got a couple of covers by John Giang, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow exclusive. They're kind of just close-ups, kind of heavily stylized pieces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. Don't mind those. Let me just have a quick look at the next one. 270. Snake Eyes coming out of the murk of whatever he's in, water here, with a couple of knives ready, smashed up tanks in the background.
Yeah. Did you spot the homage on this one?
Negative.
the cover was a homage to issue 123, Shots in the Dark, aka The Secret of the Sludge, where Cobra Commander is seen emerging from some sludge-like liquid with burning tanks in the background. So essentially, Cobra Commander here has been switched out by Snake Eyes.
Ah, yes, of course. Yes, I see it now. Very good. We'll put those up side by side when we do the picks, whatever. So obviously another Jamie Sullivan one as well. Then we got John Royle doing his Alpine, who we talked about last week. Alpine's probably about to get killed by a rock viper in that image, I would imagine.
He's got a big bit of rope dangling out of his mouth and sort of dangling down off screen.
I said that rock viper was the strongest Cobra there was. I think Alpine has got the strongest dental work because that man has got some chompers to hold that rope.
Yeah.
And then a couple of John Guiang stylized covers again, Cobra Commander. Both versions, yeah. So, what's your favourite of all these covers? What do you think? What are you plumping for?
Ooh, out of all of them, maybe the Alpine. It's quite a cool image.
Quite a good action shot. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Scrap Iron, I think, actually.
Yeah, it'd be a toss up between the two for me, I think.
All right, so we've got interiors. We've got obviously Larry's writing. We've got Atkins on art with Brian Atkins on ink. A brother, maybe.
A brother. Yep.
Okay. Jay Brown on colours. And Neil Utake on letters, and then Nito Diaz is back for part 5 with Tiago Gomez on inks, Jay Brownstone on colours, and Neil Utake, apologies if I pronounced your name wrong, on letters.
Yeah, that's right. Diaz and Atkins tag teaming for these issues.
Yes. So we know what happened in those first 3 parts where Snake Eyes was snake napped, if you will. So give us a bit of a breakdown of what we can expect from parts 4 and 5.
Laura 343 is promoted and left in charge of the security detail over Snake Eyes, who is kept in the sub-basement of the Springfield Community Center. Crystal Ball is spying on Cobra for Zartan while disguised as a pizza delivery guy, and he happens to deliver a pizza to the house occupied by the October Guard. Zartan helps Destro and Baroness escape from the Revanche factory. Cobra destroys the satellite that directs Joe Colton's orbital laser, and Jane is given 1 day to fix the problem. The Joes are preparing to mobilize but are told to stand down by the Department of Defense. The Joes all request to cash in their leave time so they can mount an unofficial rescue.
There you go. So this is where the kind of the shit hits the fan kind of thing, in terms of, like you said, Joe's really getting the troops up together and starting to mount some kind of offensive to get their boy back.
That's right, yeah. Get him back.
So this issue starts
as they all do.
This issue starts as they all do, and we're kind of seeing the inner workings of the Cobra base for the first time, in terms of, you know, Cobra Commander's telling them about all the defences that they've got in this underground bunker, blast doors and armed corridors, and, you know, laser guiding stuff and claymores in the walls, and jets. There are jets for nerve gas, flame projectors, 2 more sets of blast doors, and electrified floors. So we haven't really been told about this underground lair section before. What do you think's been going on down here? Why do they need all this kind of security?
Well, they're, you know, an evil terrorist organisation determined to take over the world.
Ding, ding, Chief, ding. There you go. That'll do.
You need a special security section underneath your. And
I guess the reason that it's that secure is or not the reason, I guess the fact that it's that secure is the reason why they see fit to not have any video cameras down there and just post one guard.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
In theory, you know, why would you need a guard at all if it's that secure?
Yes. And, well, the guard they put is Laura, and he kind of rationalised it by the fact that she had captured Snake Eyes before, so surely she is competent by herself to guard him. And there's a scene, an attempted comedy scene, which isn't funny to me, where all these Cobra troopers and officers are just piling guns onto her.
Viper, give Laura 343 your weapon and all your ammunition. Yes, Commander. And then it's, take this tranquilizer gun and these poison gas canisters. I'm giving you on my own personal pistol. A spare assault rifle can't hurt. And more ammo. Grenades come in handy. And whatever this thing is, which looks like it might be a flare gun. Yeah, so she sort of just piled on with all of these extra guns.
Yeah.
Which are only any good if you're willing to shoot Laura.
Yeah, but that's it. Because she's been pretty badass for the first 3 parts, but here she turns into a wilting flower over the next couple of issues, and it's a real detriment to her character, I find.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, there are hints of it in the previous few issues that she's sort of struggling to have that killer instinct when Throwdown was originally trying to escape from the helicopter and whatnot. She didn't, she wasn't prepared to use lethal force or too much force at all. In fact, at that point,
Snake Eyes, you mean, not Throwdown? You never know who's listening.
Oh, true. There might be people listening. Yeah. Okay. But it does seem like it's a kind of a thankless task, really, doesn't it? This duty that is kind of like they're sort of setting her up for the fall, almost like chucking her on a bus. Who can we give this thankless tasks to? Yeah.
I thought it was just kind of lazy, cliched storytelling by Larry, to be honest.
Yeah, so I thought it'd be like at work where you're told that you've got an interesting opportunity that your boss would like you to do, which is code talk for some horrible task that is going to
clean out the shitter.
Yeah.
Interestingly, also, Cobra like to have their plans filter right down to their foot soldiers, all the way down. They don't like to keep anything secret because there's a pizza delivery guy who happens to be Crystal Ball, and he's randomly chatting to a Cobra, and he actually says to him, Snake Eyes has been locked away in a maximum security facility in the sub basement. After Crystal Ball's obviously hypnotised him. But interesting that the Cobra troopers were fully on board with, what's going on. It's not like information was kept secret from them.
Yeah, they've got a very flat management structure with very little hierarchy. And the ethos is Cobra is that they like to have things as an open book so that everyone's on the same page and, all following the same paradigm for their business planning.
No prize in the post.
But to be fair, this Cobra Trooper is outside the front of the community centre, on guard duty, specifically trying to guard the community centre because Snake Eyes is in there, and they would have seen the Aspid land previously, and
maybe he was one of the troops
Snake
that
Eyes
escorted him down to the sub basement. Anyway,
could have been, couldn't it?
Explain to me about these October Guard, which we had discussed on a previous episode about whether this was a mistake because they're dead. I think I'd even tried to no-prize it. What did I actually say they were robots at one point?
So we laid out a theory as to what they might be. We had a bit of a discussion about whether it was a mistake, whether they're robots, whether they're
duplicate,
cyborgs.
And that was a complete. I hadn't read ahead, so I didn't know. And as it turns out, they are in fact cyborgs.
Cyborgs or robots, hard to say, but we talk about this a little bit with Robert. He theorises that they might be complete robots rather than cyborgs, or at least horror show.
You have to explain to me the difference between robot and cyborg. Robot is no organics. Is that right? And cyborg's got some organics.
Exactly. Yeah. So whether it's just a complete mechanical construct, or whether it does contain, whether it is part of the original October Guard humans,
right,
or not. But
why were these created?
Well, we don't know a huge amount about what's going on. We've only really got what's on the page to go by. So what we do know is that Horror Show seem to have these like kind of glitches going on. Brekov sends out Dragonsky and Diana out of the room to go and get some ice from the machine, which ostensibly seems to be just to get rid of them and get them out of the room, while he opens up Horror Show's chest hatch, sees that he's got a blown fuse, a Revanche branded fuse, which he then replaces before Diana and Dragonsky get back. And those two are the October Guards of the team, that weren't originally killed in that special missions
Is
issue.
it Diana
so
or is it Dana?
Dana?
Okay.
Yeah, Dana, isn't it? Yeah. Because it's DAI, not DIA.
Not Princess Diana.
Well, she's the
Could be her. She could be a Revanche.
queen of our hearts, really, isn't she? In terms of the readership. So yeah, I guess the implication of sending her out of the room is that they're not fully aware of kind of what's going on, and they want to keep them in the dark.
Right.
So yeah, we don't have a huge amount to go on as to exactly what has happened here. What's the status of the 4 October Guards who are back from the dead, and whether they are robots, whether they are cyborgs, whether what the whole shenanigans going on here, and hopefully it's something that can be expanded on in some point in the future.
Yeah.
Robert Atkins explains it all.
No, I was probably just as surprised as everybody. I was like, first I was excited to get to draw the October Guard, and then when Horror Show starts like acting up, and then he sends them off. He's like, "Go get ice," and then they run off, and then he opens up the chest plate like it's some 80s TV show. And that's all kind of described in the script, that this is kind of how he pulls out a little fuse, that's like a revanche, kind of like component, right? And I was like, what is going on? I was not caught up with like why or how, and I was like, okay, so I really don't. It's just kind of what was in the scripts. He doesn't really allude to like where it's going. You kind of just draw what's on the page and then assume it's going to come back up later. So that was kind of my thought process. First I was excited to draw them, and then I was like, what? And then I'm with everybody else, just kind of wondering when it's going to come back around,
And a couple of other things I noticed in that scene is that Colonel Breakov here seems to be wearing a Python Patrol Cobra Trooper type outfit there with the green shirt and the yellow stripes. It's not something that is really followed up on or explained. So it's a bit strange and sort of, because he's in that Cobra outfit and there isn't a huge amount other than them addressing him by name to indicate who the character is. It could be potentially a little bit confusing, particularly as it doesn't seem to be explained later on.
Yep.
The explanation that I came up with in my own headcanon is that Brekov is doing various bits of kind of reconnaissance, and so that's why he's in a Cobra uniform, so that he can just sort of sneak about, get into the various Cobra locations, try and find out what's going on, and he'll have just got back from that, and that's why he's still in the Cobra garb.
Yep, very good, makes sense.
On that next page there, the last page of the October Guard scene, there's one of the other October Guards, third panel of the page. He says, "That something pizza something is still out there." Can you see that blank? Yes. Pizza blank is out there, and that is actual Russian
right.
that has been put there because I used Google Translate to find out what it is that they are saying.
Okay.
And he is saying, do you want to have a guess, or shall I just fill in the blanks?
That fucking pizza fuck is still out there. No?
It was that American pizza dude is still out there.
Same difference.
Close.
Yeah.
Almost there.
Very good. The Joes have got a big problem on their hands because their catch-all Deus Ex Machina winning thing device is gone kablamo.
Oh, you're talking about the ninja. I thought
I'm
the
talking
laser.
about the Cobra Stella Stiletto has blown up their super death ray.
I thought you were talking about the fact that their ninja has gone, which is their other catch-all win every time with nonsense going on.
Yes. No, but they've had their satellite blown up, and they've got I think, is it Joe says to Jane, you got 2 weeks to build a new one. No, she says it's going to take 2 weeks to build a new one. He's like, you got 1 day.
You got 1 day.
Yeah, good luck, love.
Yeah.
But that's interesting that Larry wanted to take that out of the equation, I guess.
Yeah, it's a way of having 2 more Joes, I guess, in the story to cover off, but also, take that off the picture and say that they can't use that as a plot device, I guess.
Yeah. One thing that, again, I think needs a bit of a leap of logic, I guess, in a way, is where Hawk's kind of, the Joes are in the pit and they're discussing, and Hawk kind of says, if Cobra discovers that Throwdown is not the original Snake Eyes, have you thought about the consequences if Cobra discovers Throwdown's not the original Snake Eyes? And Duke's like, yes, sir, that's why we need to get this rolling ASAP, because what is the consequence if they do find out?
I don't think you need me to tell you the consequences.
No,
if,
of course, we
Cobra
all know.
Find out, because we all know the consequences.
Yes.
Which remind me again what the consequences are.
I think, and again, this is where the story is showing a few. I know it's comic book, so you got to suspend disbelief a little bit, but it's like they're making a mountain out of a molehill here. They're like, if they find out that Snake Eyes doesn't exist, the world is going to crumble. G.I. Joe will be no more. I mean, come on, it's just a guy that, if they find out he's dead, they're probably just going to have a party or something. Big deal.
Well, I think when they discussed it previously, it would be like, if they thought that Snake Eyes was dead and we had a replacement Snake Eyes, or didn't have any Snake Eyes, then they'd see us as being weak because we wouldn't have Snake Eyes on our team, and
Right.
he's the best guy and he'd be able to solve all our problems.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, Snake Eyes is captured.
Yeah.
So it's not like Cobra have him in the the Joes have him in the armory to deploy at this point anyway. So
Yes.
they don't have a Snake Eyes
No.
because he is captured.
Yeah, and it's kind of standard bad guy protocol as well, that when you've got a captured enemy, you don't strip him of his clothing and demask him and find out who he actually is, and put him in just a loincloth or whatever. You leave him in his full get-up, which of course he's got some lockpick tools in later on.
Yeah, I'll leave those fantasies to YouTube. But also, we've already established that Throwdown Snake Eyes is just as capable as the original Snake Eyes, really, at this point, if not maybe perhaps even more so. So I think the fact that they don't have the original Snake Eyes and they have got a replacement is fairly moot at this point, because Throwdown is so capable, it doesn't seem to make a huge deal of beans to me.
Yeah. Just lastly on this first part, or this fourth part that we're talking about today, Destro and the Baroness are still kind of hypnotised or under the influence of the Alpha blue ninja thingy, spider crab thing, and but they get extracted by Zartan, who's in disguise. Then all the ninjas get together and go off, and then when we see him at the start of the next one, Destro is kind of happily fighting alongside Zartan to try and help Snake Eyes. So I'm not sure what kind of control this Alpha 001 has over Destro. Has he got full autonomy now, Destro, or can he always be mind controlled? Or I don't really understand that relationship.
I think when we last saw Destro and the Baroness, they had worked out a way of mind controlling themselves, if that's a thing. Removing the mind control, and the Revanche Alpha 001, whatever he's called, says it's a pity that you meat puppets cannot accept your destinies and conspire to change the inevitable. We're going to erase your personality. So he's basically saying that you've worked out a way how to get rid of your mind controllingness, and that is very annoying. So I'm going to keep you captive and sort of, instead of try and just control your mind, I'm going to blank your mind instead.
Okay, got it.
So at this point in time, they are self-aware and in control.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
But then we do have a nice bit of fortuitous happenstance that occurs as to how Zartan is aware that where they are and what's going on and how to rescue them, because Buzzer rides on into the Dewdrop bar there in the Jersey marshes, saying, "Oi, I just took a spin past the Revanche HQ building and something right fishy is going on down there. They've got Iron Grenadiers working on the assembly line." So
where's he from again?
It's it's not entirely clear.
Okay.
That's I think my cartooning accent of my generic kind of slightly Cockney Australian potentially dreadnought there.
It's very good.
Buzzer's just having a little ride around and just happens to spot that something very fishy is going on down at Revanche HQ, which leads to them figuring out what's going on and leading a rescue attempt.
Yes, correct. Nitho Diaz on to the next issue, and like I said previously, I think his work has definitely improved, and I'm liking it a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those first few pages, really, really kind of tight action scenes. I think the colouring helps as well and the inking, but good stuff.
Yeah, I think they're working well in tandem there. There's lots going on each page, lots of figures being crammed in, which I'm sure is quite a difficult thing for an artist to achieve, to be getting in quite so much going on each page and each panel.
Yes.
Yeah, he's doing well, I think.
Like we mentioned, Jane has got one day to get that satellite or replacement satellite back up, and then this is where we start seeing the Joes mobilise.
Yeah.
Troop carriers coming in, vehicles, troops getting ready. They're all. Hawk gets a call, doesn't he? Actually, General Abernathy here. Yes, this is a secure line. Then a blank panel, silent panel. Yes, I understand. The DoD has unauthorised this operation and is pulling all support. Stand down. So it's like, well, we've only just started to mobilise and we've got to cut all ties straight away. But these Joes, if nothing else, these Joes are great at disobeying orders.
Yes.
They should all be in the brig. But
They should.
But yeah, what's the loophole they get around? I can't remember. Oh, they all take leave. They all take leave of absence.
We'll talk about this probably a few times down the road, but to me, having a bunch of army types on leave, with their weapons and vehicles, tearing about the countryside and having firefights on leave under their own time rather than as an authorized mission, it seems like it's fraught with legal issues there in terms of if they're caught, and surely that is something that you could get you locked away for life.
Yeah. Also, it's like surely you're leaving your designated area of defence undefended. It's like all the hospital staff saying, we're all going to take a week off now, all at the same time.
Yeah, there must be some policies set down by HR there about how many of them can take leave at the same time.
Who is running this outfit anyway?
Who's their admin specialist again?
They got one. They got a finance guy, haven't they?
I don't know if they've talked about the HR policy Joe guy. Yeah, I think it's called manpower or headcount or maybe service record.
Mindbender, meanwhile, is setting up a brand new version of the brainwave scanner, but he's got to do some reinforcing and updating, and it's clearly not ready yet.
Okay. That will explain why they've not stuck Throwdown in there straight away.
Yeah, you mean Snake Eyes.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
and this is where the first bits of where we start seeing Laura, he's fidgeting around in his straitjacket, Snake Eyes, and she's like, please stop, I'm giving you 3 seconds to stop, then I'm going to shoot you. Yeah, no spoilers to say that she doesn't actually shoot him.
I don't want to shoot you, but I will if I have to. Please stop.
Yeah. And I'll tell you one thing I did like is at the Dewdrop in the Jersey Meadowlands, the bar, Destro and the Baroness, in the middle of this emergency situation where hours and minutes are critical, they're sat down having a Sunday brunch and he's having a beer.
Yeah, beer. Nice. Yum, yum, yum.
I guess if anyone was going to stop and just relax and, take stock of things and do things in a civilised manner, it's probably going to be Destro.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised he's a beer drinker. I thought I would have put him as more of a Prosecco man.
Well, he's Scottish, isn't he?
Right, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
And they're sort of they're having a little bit of a grumble about the quality of the comestibles available to them.
Yes,
it's just chocolate covered donuts, très déclassé to say the least.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got a question here. So let's just. I could be completely wrong. It didn't look like this was all Netho Diaz art in this issue. Because when I go over the page from Destro drinking a beer, the page on the right of the October Guard, it doesn't look like Netho Diaz art. Or does it? Or am I just seeing things that's not there?
No, it's
interesting.
Different. Yeah, it does look slightly different, doesn't it? Yeah, interesting. Maybe, yeah, I mean, it's not out of the question that maybe someone else has had a hand there. It doesn't look like Atkins there either, though.
No, I think it probably is Netho Diaz, but I don't know. Just maybe he pens, because a lot of these artists, they sometimes do pages out of order, don't they? In terms of drawing. So maybe he just did that as a different time of doing the other action sequences and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, given that what we know about the deadlines on this being difficult and whatnot, it's not inconceivable that potentially somebody helped out with some of it. Maybe helping out on that particular page. Yeah, interesting observation.
Yeah. I'll tell you what we get a little blast from the past here, because the Joes, they can't all go in military vehicles, so they got one that's been in storage for a while, since back in the issue 30s of the Marvel run, and it's a certain yellow van.
Belonging to Bongo the Balloon Bear.
Yeah.
Nice.
R.I.P. So that was, I don't know, maybe that's just, Larry said he's bringing everyone back, and maybe he meant it.
Yeah, I think possibly the pit might have been destroyed in between them having the Bongo the Balloon Bear down in the Staten Island base and this point, but let's not quibble too much. It's
Yeah, nice touch, I like that, that's good.
And then we conclude out with everyone finding a way to get back to Charlie Mike after they've been told to stand down. So
that's right.
Yeah, sir, requesting leave for personal reasons, sir. So you want to take some leave time, Steeler? Yes, sir. And so does everybody else.
Yes. Request denied. No. Approved.
Yeah, and then you've got a long line of Joes sort of stretching down the stairs of everyone requesting their leave.
I'm sure that a Joe has previously, in other G.I. Joe comic books, has previously been captured, and the whole G.I. Joe force didn't mobilise to get him back. Favouritism. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but everyone knows. Who do I say? Everyone knows Snake Eyes, aka Throwdown. Everyone calls him Throwdown back in the Joe base.
Yeah.
So he's a favourite. He's been there for really long time.
Yeah.
Even
though it's not him.
Yeah, so obviously they're gonna want to help him out. But would this be a good time to name the Joes?
Here we go. Name the Joes. Is there a clue in the character pose? Maybe the outfit or the funky clothes? Do I spy a pair of pantyhose? Some facial hair or distinctive nose? ID the Joes, knock 'em over like dominoes. Or Larry Hammer's polyphonic prose? Name the Joes. Name them.
I think I know who these guys are, so let's see how you fare, Chief, on that line of Joes, starting with Lifeline on the left and Roadblock on the right, taking up half the panel.
All right. Then I guess behind him, is that Repeater behind Roadblock?
Ding.
And then next to him, Gung Ho.
Ding.
And then the face in the back there looks like a lift ticket.
Ding.
And then there's some heads that I can't make out. It looks like then there's a Wild Bill. Next to him is guy in a red hat. Could be... Oh, Crazy Legs is dead, isn't he?
Yep, that's right.
So that could be...
Crazy Legs.
Oh, it's Crazy Legs, okay.
Oh, no, it could be Airborne.
Could be Airborne,
with
next to him,
lighting.
Looks like a generic grunt, maybe.
It could be a grunt or a zap, probably.
A zap, yeah. And then behind that looks like Cover Girl.
Yep.
Maybe Cross Country, but he's dead. No, so that's Toll Booth, I think.
I think it's probably Cross Country. Could be.
No, he's dead.
Toll
Cross
Booth.
Country. That's Toll Booth.
Cross Country survived.
Oh, did he?
Yep.
Right.
Yep, he survived that mission.
Okay, I'm saying it's Toll Booth. Then next to him, hat. Looks like he might have a tash. Cutter.
Yeah, Cutter or Leatherneck, I think.
Yeah, Cutter or Leatherneck. Behind him, the three ones there. There's Torpedo on the left. Don't know those other two.
It looks like Alpine and the other guy on the right. Hard to say.
Yeah. Behind him, Keelhaul.
Yep, that would be my guess. Potentially Dogfight.
Right, yes. And then Grand Slam, maybe, or Flash.
Grand Slam or Flash, yeah.
And then Bazooka. And then some guy with a dog, but I don't recognise that dog. Law and Order, maybe?
I think it would have to be Law and Order because it's a lighter coloured dog, so couldn't be much, I don't think.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Got them all. Ish.
Robert Atkins explains it all.
With the issue that Netho did where they're all kind of lined up to kind of say, hey, we're willing to go, and then Larry wasn't happy with that because I think he had Roadblock maybe right up front and a couple other characters, I forget exactly who, but real nice and big, real close, and of course as an artist that allows you to fill a lot of space, and then a whole trail of people going off into the background, And I think Larry, it was still in his mind at that point that like, hey, we want to get screen time for all these characters. And we're like, you can't, that's not possible. And it's to be honest, a boring shot, because that means everybody's a medium-sized character, you know. Mm-hmm. If you have somebody who's large in the foreground, that immediately takes up a ton of space. And so you have a limited amount of space remaining to fit everybody else in. And inevitably, that if say you have somebody huge in the foreground, you have to have somebody tiny in the background, or you have no depth of field, right? You have no depth going on. So he obviously realized that. He's an artist himself, and he's like, well, I think he kind of just gave up at that point and put everybody on a bus. And we were like, oh, dang it.
So let's have a look at some of the little mini nuggets hidden away in the issues with I Spy.
I spy with my little eye.
So did you spot the Pyro Viper?
I did not. I don't know what they look like.
So it's just on one panel as Cobra Commander in 269 is talking about some of his troopers. And over on the right, he says, the entire corridor is patrolled and guarded by Heat Vipers, Pyro Vipers, and Frag Vipers. And Pyro Viper seems to be a new trooper, but it looks an awful lot like the Red Shadows Red Torches, which are described as Pyro Troopers.
Right.
I discussed this briefly with Robert Atkins, and his memory, I think, was a little bit hazy on this one, but it sounded like it was something that he threw in there as a bit of a little extra nugget there.
Robert Atkins explains it all.
This whole time, Larry was mostly having us draw mostly the Heat Vipers and Frag Vipers, Night Vipers, some Techno Vipers and stuff. I think that was generally the crowd. But the idea too was I was kind of just excited about drawing as many Vipers as I could find and stick them in there. And so I think I randomly just drew that Pyro Viper in, and then I think because he saw that in there, he was like, "Who's this guy?" And then wrote it into the dialogue. I think that's what happened there. I don't think that he wrote that onto the script initially, as much as I just kind of threw an extra Viper in there. But then you never see him again. So yeah, I think I just kind of added that in, and then it was colored that way too. So.
We saw Stiletto and the Star Viper there, sort of blasting the laser out of the sky.
Yep.
So that was a welcome appearance after quite a number of issues, because I don't think they've probably not been seen since the beginning of the Cobra Civil War.
Yep.
Did you know that the Stiletto is the name of an actual snake?
I did not.
Yeah, I thought it was named after fancy pointy high heel. Yeah. We got a few Joes that we've not seen before. We had Rollbar from 2004, who's an assault vehicle driver and mechanic, so it makes sense to see him in that pit motor pool. And we also saw the Slugger tank in the background, but we didn't see Thunder, who's the normal Slugger tank driver, because he's dead. Not that would necessarily rule him appearing, but would be the reason why we wouldn't see him. But I wondered to myself how the Joes would feel about being the driver of a specialist vehicle like that, which is associated with a particular specialist driver who's now dead. How would you feel about stepping into those shoes?
Yeah, big shoes to fill.
Rumbler makes an appearance, who is drawn like the actual figure Rumbler, but when someone called Rumbler has previously appeared, such as in issue 80, he was drawn as the figure Armadillo, the Rolling Thunder driver. So it looks like we've probably got two Rumblers about, or at least one Rumbler in two different outfits. Yeah, we've established that the G.I. Joe HR policy is a little bit weak, so maybe there's some shadow employees going on there, where we've got one guy who's sort of claiming two lots of pay, potentially. Look into that.
Yeah. Very good.
If we're getting into another one of favourites here, it's spotting some Joes who we thought were dead.
Who's that? What's that? You don't know what you're doing, but I saw a mistake. Something wrong with the drawing and I spot an old Joe. I thought that he had died. Bit shifty. Explain this, give it a no price.
Okay.
So, did you spot the two? We've talked about it kind of, so you probably got a little bit of an idea.
Crazy Legs?
So, not Crazy Legs in these two issues, I'm afraid. Well, unless we're talking about that teeny tiny panel.
Okay.
We've got Crankcase.
Yes.
So over in 269, he's actually referred to by name as well, rather than just being a sort of very background appearance. He says, Crankcase and Rollbar, I need a hand here. You got it, Steeler? Yeah, unfortunately, Crankcase cropped in there. And Larry actually addressed this on Facebook at the time. He wrote, I seem to have forgotten that Crankcase was dead. Mea culpa. Nobody else is to blame. It has been posited that I don't care about the characters. I care intensely about the characters, but I have never been much of a continuity freak. I have a printed list of dead characters that I refer to, but Crankcase seems to have been omitted. I compiled the list myself, so there may be more errors, and if somebody has a more accurate list, I'd appreciate it. And unfortunately, I don't think we got that updated list to Larry in time, because then in 270 we get the appearance of Heavy Metal, who died in that same scene as Crankcase, where they were gunned down by the Saw Viper. We've got 2 for the price of 1 this month.
Very good, very good.
Heavy Metal appearing in the sequence where they're having to offload the vehicles after they've been told to stand down. So again, not a background appearance, but actually a full panel there of Heavy Metal with dialogue. As well as bringing people back from the dead, Larry is known for a few other things. So let's have a bit of hammer time.
Stop! Hammer time!
Time to beat the soles of your boots with my face. Sucking chest wounds, red ninjas, brain scanners, rubber oozes, blue ninjas. And some more sucking chest wounds. Hammer time!
Okay, what's he up to this week?
This is a few themes of things that we see from Larry. We've got Zartan going against his own self-interest to help the Joes or Destro, having recently helped the ninjas escape from the basement of the Springfield Community Centre a few issues ago in the Dawn of the Arashikage arc, and helping Destro out in the Search and Destroy 3-parter as well, as a couple of examples. We've got the Joes not being given the go-ahead to rescue Snake Eyes, so having to do it on their own time, which is a bit of a G.I. Joe trope, where when the real work needs to be done, you're going to have to go and do it yourself on your own time. So I think the last time we saw that was where in Cobra's Venom in 258 there was a all-volunteer rescue mission to extract the Joes from, Springfield again, actually.
Yep.
In issue 270, Granny's got a brand new brick. When she's being told to stand down, her mitigating excuse as to continuing the mission is that she's got a brand new brick in her bag and she wants to use it.
Yes. What do you think she's got, like dimensions and composite materials, or what what kind of, has she got a criteria of checklist that she looks for in a brick, do you think, or has she got has she got a personal custom brick designer?
Well, yeah, we've already established that she gets her bricks from the from the customized weapons dealer over at Ellen Bogdan, which is the shop next door. So yeah, we are talking about specialized ninja bricks here.
Yes, of course.
And we've got, at the end of 269, we've got Stalker, Clutch and Rock and Roll talking about their ammo loadout, as well as they're preparing for the mission. Just to tick off against our list here, we've got Stalker, who's loading all ball, Clutch is alternate ball and AP, and Rock and Roll mixes it up. Ball, AP and Tracer in random order. Surprise is good.
Yeah, even surprising himself sometimes when he gets the wrong loadout that he doesn't want.
He does. Just filling someone up with his balls. But Larry always introduces us to new vocabulary as well, which keeps us learning. And let's find out what he's teaching us this week.
Always love learning. There used to be a pudding that was over-egged. You know the pudding. You know the pudding. At first it was British, but then it was Commonwealth. You know the pudding. You know the pudding. But now there's a new player in town, a comic book writer of some renown. He's using real-world examples and peppering the issues with lots of samples. It's a Larry Hammer colloquialism. He's talking G.I. Joe and all its heroism. Can you guess what it is? Is it something new? Now listen as Larry drops a slice of real life on you.
So this week, Horror Show is getting a somewhat specialist pizza. So he is getting some kishka on his pizza. Any ideas what kishka might be?
Kishka is obviously anchovies.
It's close but not anchovies, or eat close.
Tuna.
It's not fish.
It's bacon.
It's meat based, so we're talking
it's sausage.
It is sausage.
Like I
ding,
said,
ding,
sausage.
like you said, cool. It's Eastern European sausage or stuffed intestine, which is made with a filling from a combination of meat and grain. The main name kishka is Slavic in origin and literally means gut or intestine. Delicious.
Very good.
And did you have any favourite line of dialogue, Chief?
I did have one this week, and it's from 269, and it's from the Alpha 001, and it's just one part of the line that he's saying to Destro and Baroness, and he says,
Quote of the week, 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 quote of the week.
we're going to erase your personalities and transition you into pliable drones to man the assembly lines, but the process is too complex for our onboard tentacles, so these blue ninjas will take you to the basement, is my favourite bit, where we have the proper facilities and floor drains to deal with the mess.
Oh, nice. Very good.
Anything from you, or nothing this week?
I didn't have anything that jumped out at me
Okay.
this week, and we've talked about a few interesting lines as we've gone along. So nothing further from me.
I'll tell you what
Stand
I
down.
do have, though. I do have an MVP. Who is the MVP? Most valuable person in these issues. Who is the MVP? Is it a Cobra Joe or the enemy? Okay, this week my MVP is Crystal Ball.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah, I love the fact that Larry is doing something with one of these weird and wacky characters that I'm a big fan of, and obviously he's here doing pizza deliveries in Springfield under the guise of, what's his, I'm just looking at the page, what's his
Is it Braco Bros?
Is it Braco Bros Pizza.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And then my favourite bit from him comes in the next issue. Let me just get to it, where he's doing some kind of recon, and he's always on the phone as well on his bike. I mean, he could get pulled over by the cops for that, I'm sure. Yeah, and then in 270, my favourite bit is here, where he's delivered these pizzas to some of these Cobra Troopers, and then he's on the horn to Zartan, telling him about the plans, whatever, and he says, I'll report back with an update after I finish my pizza delivery run. This man is dedicated to the cause of delivering the pizza. And he's kind of hunkered down. He's trying to get into a speed pose. And I kind of like that whole panel, actually, because behind him, there's a guy going up to the food truck saying, I'll have the blini with red caviar and the wild mushroom soup. Because
Nice.
this is a callback. I think this is a callback to when Mindbender and Cobra Commando, weren't they in a food truck dishing out, lavish luxury goods?
Yeah, they were in like crustration comestibles
Some
or
lobster
whatever it was
thing.
called.
Yeah, brilliant. But Crystal Ball, good page time, actually does good work by hypnotising, getting information, and is a hell of a pizza delivery man.
Yeah, he's fully immersed in that role.
Yeah.
He's getting into character.
Method,
He's got to
method.
complete that complete Charlie Mike and complete that pizza delivery round. Excellent stuff.
Very good, very good.
And they've got the Braco Bros. They've got a wide selection of ingredients for your pizza as well. It sounds like they're a good pizza delivery company.
If you see Braco Bros in your local area, make sure you get one of their pizzas, but don't look at the guy's medallion when he swings it in front of your eyes.
That's right.
Yeah. I think next week maybe we'll do 2 more issues, parts 6 and 7, and then the following week we can maybe close out with 8, 9 and 10. So
okay, cool.
Next week, make sure you read 271, 272 if you want to play catch up with us. That's all good. But let's do some final thoughts on these 2 issues and the story as a whole as we think it's going. What's your thoughts?
Okay, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I mean, as much as I poke fun at some of the elements, I do my best to suspend my disbelief where things are maybe not all that they might be, and just try and enjoy it for what it is. I think the art from the team here is great, and I think they're doing an interesting job at sort of building these various forces to sort of pull together these various different groups that are all heading towards Springfield for a showdown with Throwdown
/ Snake Eyes. Yeah, I think it's silly fun, but I'm still not on board. And I think one of the main problems that I'm finding is, for me, there's zero tension involved. We've got Snake Eyes captured. He's under cover of guard from one individual, so we know he's going to escape. We kind of know where the story's going, I guess, unless there's going to be a major death or a major turning point or a major shake-up at the end of it. I'm not sure. But for me, it's another one of these over-long, over-egg the pudding kind of stories. I'm not really feeling it. Art team is doing a good job, I agree there. But I think Larry is losing it a bit. But let's see where it goes. We've still got 4 issues to cover. 5 issues. 5 issues of this arc. So we're halfway through. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, my concern is that there's a lot of build, but there's not going to be. They're going to run out of time for the payoff.
Yes. Okay, well, we've already talked action figures once. Let's do it again. Mark talks about toys, ho ho. He talks about G.I. Joe. He talks about all the toys from the comic book and the animated show. Mark talks about toys. Mark talks about toys. Okay, so my choices are getting harder and harder because, as Larry has stated, he wants to include every single Joe here. You've covered Crankcase already with Thomas, so you're not going to do him again. So now you're going for Crystal Ball.
Oh, that would be a good choice, wouldn't it? But I didn't.
No, that's why I said. That's why I didn't say him. I said that would have been a good choice. So you are going for a Joe,
or a different faction.
Oh
maybe.
no, that's a question. It's like I hadn't finished the sentence.
Okay,
you're going for a
right.
Joe, or you might go for a Cobra,
or even
you might even go for an enemy.
An enemy of some description.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying. So I think you're going for something like the Dreadnoks / October Guard area.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, October Guard.
Yes,
you got it. Yeah,
correct.
Wow.
That's what I said. October Guard, and I think because he's had some good page time here, you might be going for Horror Show.
Yeah.
That's right. First time.
It's step down, Crystal Ball. There's one man with a sixth sense here. It's Chief.
That's it.
It's uncanny.
Yes, you got it. Tell me all about Horror Show.
So Horror Show as a figure, he never came out in the original run of G.I. Joe, which was an enormous disappointment to me because I thought that the October Guard were great and would have made great additions to that original run, but we did eventually see a release of Horror Show, and he first came out in 2005, and he was a 3-pack in the comic book packs that came with Stalker and Stormovik, and separately there was a comic pack which included issue 6, which was Colonel Breakov, Dana and Shraj. So between those two we did eventually get sort of O-ring versions of the original team of October Guard. There was another release of Horror Show which came in 2013 in the International G.I. Joe Convention exclusive October Guard Operation Bear Trap box set, which was a big old set of various figures. But just for the purposes of this, I'll look at the version 1. His file card, I think in this era, wasn't written by Larry, so generally the file cards aren't maybe considered quite in terms of canon or in terms of the elegance of the writing. But here we go anyway. Stefan Horoshow Drukerski, his primary military special, weapons expert, secondary military special, infantry, birthplace, Tbilisi, Georgia. The big Georgian fighter has plenty of strength and fighting skills, but he knows he's better off leaving the intelligence analysis to other members of the team. Just point him in the direction of whoever you want knocked down or taken out, and Horoshow will get it done with brute force and no wasted punches or stray rounds of ammo. He grew up in a well-known theatre family, and though he acted with them as a boy, he never wanted to live and work in a world of illusion. He likes his battles real and his ammo live, when all that stands between him and making it into the next moment is his ability to be the best fighter in the world. And his quote is, "I fight until I am the only one left standing. That is what I do."
Okay, and he's from Scotland, sounds like.
Yeah, he was originally played by Sean Connery in the little-known adaptation there.
Yeah, I'm looking at him now. Good figure. In fact, I looked at version 2 first of all. With the jacket on, version 2 looks good. Without the jacket, it looks a bit skinny and rubbish. Good figure. And this version 1's really nice as well.
Yeah, it's often the way with this sort of what you might call the 25th anniversary style figures, where you don't have the O-ring, that they've got lots of accessories and jackets that you can put on them, and once those are taken off, the figure doesn't look nearly as interesting.
Yeah. But this V1, love that RPG he's got. It's got a nice machine gun. The colour scheme's really faithful to the comic appearance.
Yeah.
One grenade there on the front. You know, I like the flaring of the overall that he's got on, kind of just flares at the hips a little bit to kind of like a mini skirt kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really nice figure. Nice chunky face, big tash.
Yeah, it does look, absolutely faithful to how he appeared really in the comics. It's a very good interpretation. I think possibly the only criticism you might say is that as is the way with most of the O-ring figures, they are very much sort of built to a standard dimension in terms of height.
Yeah.
So potentially it would have been nicer just to have him be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I just opened up that picture on yojo.com of all the October Guard, and he's standing next to Dana, and they're the same height.
So yeah, I think they do a little bit more of that maybe in the 25th anniversary in terms of difference in height, and they certainly do it in the classified line. But that's a small.
Yeah, he's definitely the best of all those October Guards as well. The other ones look a bit shonky. But he looks great.
Yeah.
Really good figure. And you had him?
I don't think I ever had him. Certainly by the time we got to 2005, I wasn't playing with the G.I. Joes anymore. So I think Peter at one stage did have these figures, just in terms of him having everything. Yes. But yeah, it was past the point at which I was actively collecting a huge amount myself.
Easily accessible now to buy one, do you think?
I haven't looked, but I suspect that, as is the way with much of these figures, that quite hard to find at decent prices. The prices of G.I. Joe, and particularly the harder to find in-demand figures, will be will be commensurate. Yeah. They would be a little bit more expensive. So
okay. Good stuff.
I might even do a little eBay search and see if I can find him for a decent price. But I'm not one to go spending silly money on these things.
Good. More toy talk next week.
Question, tell me what you think about TV. Do you buy toys and buy other things? Who's your favourite guy from that movie? What are the UK pedestrian crossings? Question, what did we ask this week? Let's find out as we speak.
Now, for listener question, I had completely forgot that we have this segment at the end of the show. So there was speculation that we were going to do another little PvP, but unfortunately, blame the chief, I had not done any research into writing little notes about characters and who would win in a fight. But luckily, we got Funky Bunch on the show, and this man is good at coming up with ideas. So what have you got for us?
So, a few weeks ago, we asked the listeners out on the social medias what new features we should have. So we've had G.I. Joe hats, and we've had PvP. And so this third suggestion is from European Joes on Twitter, who suggested strange G.I. Joe merchandise. So I've not done a jingle for this at the time of recording.
Okay.
Will I have one now?
100%. This man cannot stop. He's the jingle VIP, so there will be a jingle.
I got a license for Joe, G.I. Joe, and you know I'm gonna make any old crap. Got a license for Joe, got a license for Joe. Puzzle soap, lunchbox, gift wrap. Got a license for Joe, license for Joe.
I'm not going down the long song road anymore. I'm sticking to the 20 to 25 seconds. You know, G.I. Joe ain't just toys, funny books, and tunes. Those guys will license anything. So funky, so nice, G.I. Joe merchandise. Do you need it? Sure you do. It's G.I. Joe branded, fool. What shall we make? We can't decide. Pick some old crap and put Flint's face on the side. On the side. T-shirts, funkers, sticker shampoo, lunchbox, soap, jackets, underoos. Yeah, that's right. I said underoos. Badges, brushes, combs and mugs, telephones, tissues, and probably hugs. Hot damn. G.I. Joe hugs? Radios, candy, tents, tattoos with a G.I. Joe logo they just can't lose. Door knocker, doorbell, even doormat. They'll probably brand your dog and your cat. So funky, so nice, it's G.I. Joe merchandise. Do you need it? Sure you do. It's G.I. Joe branded, fool. What shall we make? We can't decide. Pick some old crap and put Flint's face on the side. It's G.I. Joe merchandise.
So I think this is a fertile ground for a feature, and the one that jumped out was just only in terms of it being timely, because there's been an announcement or some discussion on Twitter around there's a fervour out there for new G.I. Joe stuff. You know, there's the retro line. It's sort of, you know, we're getting releases of only three or so figures at a time. Classified, we're getting a drip feed again of, you know, maybe 3 or 4 figures, you know, in a wave. It's, you know, we're not seeing the volume. So in between those big announcements, we're seeing other little bits of G.I. Joe merchandise dropping through and getting people excited about them. And so just announced for 2021, we have G.I. Joe Valentine's merchandise. We've got G.I. Joe Classified 32 Valentines with Valentine's tattoos, and another set which is 24 paper aeroplane Valentines. What?
Who knows?
So indeed, there's clearly an audience and a demand for G.I. Joe Valentine's merchandise. You know, I don't know if it's something that you're rushing out to get, Chief.
Yes, pre-order.
But it's not without precedent. There seems to have been a fair amount of official G.I. Joe Valentine's merchandise. There was certainly one from 1987 with Crazy Legs front and center on the merchandising for that, and Valentine's cards with slogans such as G.I. Joe has been sent on a special mission to wish you a fantastic Valentine's Day. There was Sigma 6 Valentine's cards back in 2007, and 2010 G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra Valentines as well, all with fairly cringeworthy taglines there. And in process of doing the research for this, I saw that Comic Alliance, they came up with some slogans for potential G.I. Joe Valentine's cards here, which I thought I'd share. So we had, "You make me feel like a lady," with a picture of Lady J. Tomax and Zaymot, "You're my better half." We had, "What about a snow job?" And I heard you like to give beachhead. What about a Serpentor themed Valentine's card? "I am yours to command."
Yes.
We had an embrace from Flint and Baroness. "Let's be enemies with benefits." And I saw a couple of other ideas from people. "Hugs and hisses," and "You leave me speechless," which would be Snake Eyes to Scarlet, obviously.
Very good, very good. No, I like this segment. I think there's some legs here. I think we can delve into some more weird and wacky G.I. Joe stuff next week.
I can't guarantee that the sending a loved one a G.I. Joe Valentine's would be particularly successful in the love stakes there. But who knows?
Yeah, definitely not for my missus. She'd be like, "Why are you sending me this toy crap?"
I think there might be an audience of one for this, which is probably Chris McLeod. But
yeah, he's got them all already anyway.
Yeah. I think I would be in the scrap iron heap if I was to attempt to give my missus a G.I. Joe Valentine's.
Yeah, I might try it actually. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Divorce papers at the ready. So, another good show. We're barreling our way through Snake Hunt and more comics, more toys, more general chat, more G.I. Joe merchandise going to be delved up for you lucky people next week. If you do want to get in touch with the show, you can do it in the usual places. That's Talking Joe, where are we? Talking Joe Comics at Instagram, Talking Joe Comics at gmail.com, Talking_Joe, I think it is on Twitter, and Talking Joe Comics, a G.I. Joe podcast on Facebook. I actually sold my 6-inch classified Joe figures. I kept some of the Cobra ones, but I sold the Gung Ho, Scarlet, Snake Eyes and all that lot recently on a Facebook group last week, and I slipped 4 of the Talking Joe trading cards into the package and said to the guy, "Hey, come and if you're into the G.I. Joe toys, come and check out our G.I. Joe podcast." So, in fact, you haven't even got one. You need a Talking Joe trading card. All right, I'll get on it.
Okay,
I'll get on it, see what we can do.
Draw me like one of your French girls.
Yes.
Sort of spread the word, spread the love. If you're active in some of the Facebook groups and message boards and whatnot, point people in our direction so that they can join in the fun. And indeed, if you haven't been over to Facebook and joined the group yet, please do. That's where a lot of the discussion is happening. So. Jump on in.
Yeah, jump on in. And if you're listening on iPhone, on iTunes, go head on over to the rate and review bit. Give us 5 stars. Tell them Chief and Mark sent you. Tell them Hacker reported. Bumps us up the charts. We'll get into more people's oral canals. But with all that said and done, we will catch you down the road.
Because we've been talking Joe.
And we're all out of Joes.
But not out of crazy merchandise, because we'll have some more next week.
Boom, boom, boom. Right, now we've got to go and write a jingle each, I think.
Hello, it's me, Thomas, and I'm back.
So, Thomas, why are you back for an extra bonus thing at the end of the episode? Have you been watching Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yes, that is true.
And what did you think about the films?
They were all great.
Even the last one?
That ending was a bit of a cliffhanger.
What ending?
Remember with Davy Jones?
Oh, the ending to number 5 had Davy Jones creeping around in Will Turner's bedroom.
Wait. Maybe we shouldn't have that in this.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler.
Okay, alright, yeah. Spoilers. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
So, what is you going to talk about?
The Jack Sparrow figure.
So you want to talk about the Jack Sparrow figure. So that came out at the time of the first film, and they're quite cool. They're like 3 3/4 inch figures, aren't they? So they're the same size as the G.I. Joe figures.
I think I like about 3 of them.
Mm-hmm. Got the pirate ship over at Grandma's house as well, so that's cool. So, tell me about
Wait,
this figure.
I think the ship that we have is a pearl.
Yeah, it's the Black Pearl.
Yeah, it's quite a good figure. Yeah.
It looks quite a lot like the character.
Even if you didn't know that he was a pirate, it would definitely point at the arrow on your "What is he, pirate?"
Oh no! What is he detective? It would swing all the way to pirate. Okay, and
There's so many details on it.
yeah. So but he's going to have someone he's going to go up against, and we've got
Dave Jones.
PvP, 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 PvP. Player versus player combat scores. You win!
in one corner we've got Jack Sparrow, and in the other we have got.
Davy Jones.
So how's this battle going to play out?
Let's just give them an old sword fight. Yeah?
Okay, I guess there's only one way to find out.
Fight!
Crabclaw, Crabclaw.
Oh.
Squid face.
This is a day where you almost caught Captain Jack.
Oh, was that as a final killing blow?
Well, it didn't kill him because they didn't even destroy the heart yet.
All right.
Oh, dang. Open chest and... Well, that's that. Just blew it up.
Wait, but if you killed Davy Jones, then you're cursed.
No, because we just destroyed that big pointy fork.
Okay, they destroyed the pointy fork, so everything's all right. Okay, and inclusion, whose wins?
Jack Sparrow.
Okay, that's
We're
the
gonna-
end then.
Yeah, we're gonna end this podcast for today. Savvy?